Hey everyone, this is Ankit Sanjel,
And this is Bibhushan Saakha,
and we are here for another episode of
NCA podcast. So, since we are both new faces for this channel, let's begin with our introduction. Ankit, how would you introduce yourself?
So, hello everyone, I am Ankit Sanjel. I am a high school student studying in grammar school, and I am a cuber who specializes in pyramings and blind events, and I currently hold the national record single and average for pyramings. Bibhushan, your turn.
As for me, I'm a high school student as well, studying in 12 in St. Xavier's Hill. I'm a sub 18 color neutral CFOP and sometimes rule solver. The only NR I've got is 4F blindfold of 24 minutes. For 3 blind, I use M2OP I use Roman rooms for memo. So let's head on to the questions. The first one is from Suraj Limbu asking NCA and WCA. Of course, can only choose one for both. Edit specify the reason.
Of course, WCA because without WCA there's no point in having NCA, and all the rules that WCA forms is what we follow in NCA. So of course WCA. What about you?
Yeah, that's the same thing. So there's no NCA without WCA, so I'd choose WCA as well.
Okay, so Pratyush Ali Magar asks favorite blind event.
For favorite blind event, I have to say multi-blind over big blind, because 4 blind memo is equivalent to memorizing for 3 blind, and 5 blind is like 4 3 blinds. But what happens is 5 blind there are like only 2 states. It's either solved, which is rare, or it's not. But with the same amount of memo, we can have like 3 out of 4 success in M blind, even if we mess up one or forget some memo in the middle. So yeah, 3 blind is too basic, big blind is too difficult, multi-blind is perfect. Also because we have a freedom of choosing the number of cubes we are attempting, and can be adjusted according to our skills.
So for me, my favorite blind event would be 3 blind, of course, because it looks really good to do 3 blind in front of friends, and it is also kind of spectator friendly at comps, and it's really fun to do, and improvement comes pretty much easily. So yeah, 3 blind.
So the next question is from Pratyush Alimagar asking other hobbies than cubing.
So my hobbies are listening to music, watching animes, and going different places and exploring them. What about you?
Well, I like painting, sketching, animating, and similar stuff.
So the next question is, can you sing Sunflower please?
No,
No.
we are not singers, we are cubers.
Cubers.
So, yeah, next question. What would be your perfect competition in your opinion?
So a perfect comp practically shouldn't exist, I guess. But if there were to happen one, that comp should have perfect timing, not perfect, but a good timing, good dedicated staffs, and maybe, I don't know. Yeah, a good timing and good dedicated staffs. That should be a good comp, perfect comp for me. What about you?
Yeah, as Ankit said, there should be cool venue, disciplined staff, and it should run as scheduled, and also should have extra activities, and the management should be well as good as well.
Salon Nagakuchi. Good job, man. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
How did you guys get into blind, and what motivates you to keep on doing blind? Bibhushan.
Okay. Actually, while in school, I used to fake blind solves by memorizing the actual CFOP step by step, which is kind of dumb, but also kind of cool at the same time. Then, that time I didn't know much about blind solving, and that there was a different method. But in Cube Mahotsav, while everyone were practicing in the morning, I saw Achyut Dai wearing a blindfold and solving a cube. As I watched, I saw him get a pure success. That time I was so amazed that I literally cried out, "Oi, Bonio!" Which I guess even Achyuday heard and smiled at me. Later that day, I partly heard him teaching Samyuktai for solving corners using UP. And some days later in school library, I looked up some blog post for three blind and learned it in like 3 days maybe. And so when I got into blind, there was only like 3 to 4 blind solvers with official success in Nepal, and the NR was like 2 minutes and something, while the world record was just 21 seconds. So I thought like maybe this event is really an underrated event and decided to give it a try. Still though, I have 0 3 blind successes and 2 4 blind successes. Lol. And
So,
yeah, what
so
about
as for
you?
me, I have always been looking up to Felix Zemetics for anything that's related to cubing. So back when I was just starting to average sub 40, I saw Felix's really old video that where he solves a Rubik's Cube blindfolded, and that was very amazing for me. So I decided to learn blind, which looked very much impossible for me back then, but I started by looking onto tutorials on YouTube, and on the next weekend I was solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded with a very first success of 8 minutes and something seconds. Yeah, and what motivates me to keep on doing blind is just how cool the event is. It is very fascinating to see a unsolved cube. You put on your blindfold, and when you open it, there's a solved cube right in front of you. So that's
Yeah.
what keeps on motivating me to do blind. What about you?
I just,
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay. The next question is from Solo Nagakasi. Everyone will probably want to hear this out. For both, how did you get into cubing?
So how I got into cubing. So I first bought my cube back when I was in class 4. I got it for Dasai, and I could solve one face back then, and that was really cool for me. But somehow the cube got lost, and I didn't even think about cubing for a long time. Then in class 9, at the end of the term, I thought of getting a cube and solving it, but had really not got interest on doing it. But since the last term ended and I had a lot of vacations to spend, I thought of getting a cube. I got one. I saw a YouTube video of Surges B, which was very popular back then, I guess, and I solve it in maybe the other day. I solved the cube, and my first ever recorded time was 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And somehow I got into
That's really
the
nice.
cubing community, which is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how I got into cubing. Bibhushan.
I learned to solve a cube through a friend in class 6 while I was in Little Angels. His name was Krishna, by the way. So what happened was, after 6 I moved to a different school, that is EPS. So there I met new friends, and they showed interest in cubing as well. So we started cubing together, and we were always on a journey to have a better time and get a new record. And so we both discovered a competition was happening nearby. There was Kathmandu Kathmandu Championship 2016, I guess. So after we got into the community, the people here motivates me to cube more and more. Yeah.
Okay,
So
is that it?
yeah, that's it.
Okay. So Salon Nagakushi asks both, what are your long-term future goals for cubing? Bibhushan.
I don't have any specific goal as in long term. Maybe I'll continue this as a hobby, and wherever I'll go, I'll take this cube with me, and whenever I'm alone, I'll be cubing, and that's it. Maybe I'll try to get some more national records, but I don't think world record is anywhere near my possibility. What about you, Ankit?
Okay, so my long-term goals for cubing. So I currently don't have anything specific, but I surely would want to get sub 3 at Primings someday, and get good at multi-blind maybe, and get a sub 10 3 by 3 average. That are the only long-term goals I am thinking right now.
Okay, so the next question is from Felix Hud for both of us. Have you ever imagined of getting sponsor? First, Ankit.
Yes, I guess every cuber does that. Sometimes when I don't feel like cubing and when I don't get good times, I look up to other cubers and see how they improved and got sponsored, and they travel all over the world and go to competitions, break records. So yeah, getting sponsored is kind of a motivation for me to continue cubing. Bibhushan.
Um, Honestly, I've never thought of how I would react on getting a sponsor or what I would do on getting a sponsor. So that's a nope for me.
Felix Hood asks, both your main cube.
My main cube is YLM right now.
And my main 3x3 cube is MF3RS3M.
And
Does cubing have
does cubing
scope,
have
scope in Nepal?
scope in Nepal?
Okay, so I don't get what you mean by scope, but I do think that there is scope. Everyone is improving pretty much and getting better and better every day. So yeah, someday in the future, people might make money out of it.
I'd rather say cubing is for passion. Lots of people try to solve the cube and just leave it, saying that it's not for them. And when you go to a new place and when you present your cubing skills before strangers, you can have good impression on them. So cubing is not just limited to a certain area like Nepal. Of course, cubing should have also been given as much priority as all other games, but we should also be able to show ourselves in front of others.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So next question is from Crystal Dungal for Ankit. 3 by main Koili.
Soon, bro, soon. I don't know when the next comp is happening where there is 3 blind. Maybe in the next comp. Yeah.
Okay, and Saakha Dipanta asking, Ankit, how was that Pokhara prank I did?
That was really good. I actually thought that you were pranking me because I can't explain it right now, but I kind of thought that it was a prank, so I didn't really believe it, but it was good. Thanks for that. Do you pronounce Utsav Manandar asks, do you pronounce it data or data?
Data.
Deuta. Data, of course.
Yeah. Solomon Nyakusi asks Ankit, did you learn L4E? If you did or didn't, when do you plan on switching to it?
Did you learn L4E? No, I haven't learned L4E. I was learning it, but I am too lazy to give it to continue it. So I will learn it by the vacation of Dasai. And when do you plan on switching to it? When I get good at it. Maybe when I get consistent with it, I will switch to L4E.
What is L4E?
L4E is a method in Pyramix. It's an intermediate method.
Okay.
So there you solve a V, then you solve last four edges with an algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Pyramix stuff.
Yes. So Utsav Manandar asks, favorite cuber, national or international? Bibhushan.
National, I would say Rosin Dai. Yeah. And international is obviously Felix Semdigs. And maybe also Delphin Chan, because he's so good in 3 blind and 4 blind
Nice.
blind stuff. What about you?
Okay, so my favorite cuber is obviously Rosin Dai and Anupadikari, because Rosin Shrestha and Anupadikari, because they are the ones who really got me into cubing, and they are the ones who always motivate me into cubing. And for international cubers, obviously Felix Zemedix and J-Perm, who is Dylan Wang, and Christopher Olsen also. He's a great person.
Okay, that's cool. Next question is for Ankit again. Gadi average kati?
Gadi average. So I haven't done clock for a really long time but when I did, I used to average sub 17, and I also got a sub 13 average of 12. So yeah. Okay. Solon Nakusi asks, Bibhushan, have you improved on 4 blind since Nats, and do you plan on learning 5 blind? 5 blind.
Actually, to be honest, I have not practiced 4 blind much since the time I learned it. You wouldn't probably not believe it, but the only 2 successes I have ever got in 4 blind are the ones I got in 2019 Nats. So just imagine my reaction when I got the first one officially. And of course, I have planned to learn 5 blind, but unfortunately, it takes up a lot of time to attempt one solve. So I'll probably start in the same. I'm just procrastinating. Okay. So Aviskar Adhikari asks, for both, what was your first competition? How was your first experience?
So my first competition was EPS. Was in EPS, the inter-school competition. But if you don't count it and asking for international competition, I mean WCA competition. So it was Cube Jatra 2017. And how was the first experience? It was really good. It was more than what I had expected. I didn't even think that people would come up to me and talk to me. I just thought that I would be in a corner, just I would go and solve and come again. I thought of it that way, but it was really opposite. People like Bibhushan, yeah, I talked with you, I guess. I
maybe
yeah, and Rishabh and Razin Shrestha and Anup Adhikari, I talked with them and it was really good.
Yeah. So my first competition was Kathmandu Cube Championship 2016, as mentioned earlier, which was only an NCA competition. I had no idea about anything then, but everyone was so friendly that I got along really quick. Especially Rosindai helped me to become familiar with competitions and cubing on and offline. So thank you, Rosindai, and all the senior cubers who have been there with NC all along.
So Rishabh asks, who are you? I am Ankit.
Yeah, we've given our introduction earlier.
Okay. So Sami Patrai asks, both best cubing memory, also both worst cubing memory. Bibhushan.
Me. My best queuing memory must be the time I got 4 blind national record. As mentioned earlier, I had never got 3 blind success in a competition and never got a 4 blind success even at home. Before starting the attempt, I was quite nervous, and Rosandai was specified the judge. So while memorizing, I was literally composing a story with Roman rooms, and during execution bunny, I turned the cubes so slowly and carefully just so that no 2 layers might turn together and spoil the solve. And at the end, when I put down the cube, I asked Rosanda if the cube was solved. That is because before I opened my blindfold, for which he only replied "Kholera hera na," and with all my heart pounding, I opened my blindfold and literally shouted so loud when I found the cube solved, and then ran downstairs to tell you all that I actually got a success. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Worst cubing memory.
I don't actually remember any worst cubing memory.
Okay, so
all the cubing memories are good for me.
Yeah. So best cubing memory for me is probably Nepal Nationals. No, wait, it's Ganatanta 2018 when I got my first ever podium. I thought that I would get maybe a 4th or 5th place, but I actually ended up getting a 3rd place. 3rd place for Pyraminx. Yeah, that's, and also when I got my 2.9 for Pyraminx single and Nastriker single in at Cube Modes of 2018, that was really awesome and probably one of the best cubing memories for me. Worst cubing memory. So my worst cubing memory is when I got 4th at Nationals 2017, Nepal Open 2017 by 0.01 second. Yeah, I remember it. I was so nervous to see the results that I asked Piyush to watch if I podiumed or not, and he said that bro, timle 0.01 second le timi fourth bhayo. And so the third person was Rosen Raj Bhandari. I was so pissed that day. So yeah, that is worst cubing.
That is very sad.
By the way, I got 8.28, 8.08 maybe. Yeah, and he got 8.07. So
Oh. Okay, the next is from Samit Potrai. Anyone, what advice do you have for beginner cubers?
So I'll go for it first. So for beginner cubers, what I want to tell them is, when they get to a point where there is no improvement, just take a break. Don't get frustrated. Just take a break for a day or two, and when you again go into cubing, you'll definitely improve. And also I would like to say that don't just get stuck in one event, unless you just specialize in it or something. But when you just get stuck in one event, then you don't get to explore the awesomeness of cubing. So yeah,
Try all the events.
try all the events. Maybe something might work for you, like Pyramix did for me.
And blind did for me.
Yeah.
Blind for
So
me.
yeah.
For me, as I said earlier, queuing is just for passion. If you have just learned how to solve it, you don't have to practice every day and now and then to become better. You should rather try to understand what one algorithm does to the cube and improve and look ahead through slow solves. Also, learning better methods and algorithms always helps in queuing. But you should always manage time for queuing. Allocate certain time of a day or week for queuing so that your parents might not scold or even take away those puzzles.
Okay. So next question.
It's for Ankit as well.
Oh.
Why did she leave you?
Maybe I was not good enough.
Oh.
Bibhushan, why are you weird? Ankit can help answering this question. Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I have no idea why you think I'm weird.
Okay, so yeah, she might have left me because I am weird too. Also-
Self-destruction.
Okay, Pratyush Alemagar. Also, Ankit, why always sky? Because the sky is blue.
Oh, and he's wearing a blue t-shirt right now.
Yeah, and the sky is blue right now. So yeah. Okay, Utsamananda asks, how long do you plan to queue for?
For infinity and beyond. I don't think I'll be leaving queuing anytime soon. Even if I go anywhere abroad or stay in Nepal, I mean, I might not attend competitions or maybe not even practice for weeks, but every time I'll see a scrambled cube, I'll be tempted to solve it.
Nice. So how long do I plan to queue for? As
Yeah.
long as I live and as long as my hands and my fingers are able to turn the cube, I am planning to solve a cube. Cube, yes. Okay. Saakha Dipanta asks, sexiest cuber you know? What do you think is the sexiest cuber in NCA? Or anyway.
Blissful.
So, okay. So for me it's Rajan Shrestha, of course.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this is the last question. Kritika Khatri asks, what motivates you to continue / do cubing for both?
The thing about queuing is the more we practice it, the better we get at it. So every time I start queuing, I plan to get better at it. I try to learn new algorithms or try to find out my faults or what I am doing wrong so that I can do better next time. So that's what motivates me. What about you?
Okay, so what motivates me to continue? So I guess there are two parts of or aspects of cubing. There's a competitive part and there's a social part. The competitive part is when you go to comps and try to be better than others and try to compete with others time. So that's also a really motivating factor for me, and also the socializing factor, because we don't get to meet each other so often, and when we do at comps, we hang out, we share our knowledge, and we also give each other tips here and there, and we talk about life. So yeah, it's the socializing aspect and the competitive aspect of cubing is what motivates me to continue cubing. Thank you for the questions, everyone.
Yeah, there are not many questions, so that's
but
almost
more than I expected.
yeah. So
Is that it? Okay, that's.
Oh, we just almost missed a question from Instagram. It's from I'm not Ankit asking
I am.
how many faces does a cube have? So it depends on the type of cube we are talking about. So for a normal n by n cube, there are 6 faces, but for Pyramix there's 4, for Megamix there's 12, and so on. Yeah.
Thanks for the questions.
Yeah.
So
So as this video is coming to an end, I'd like to thank Anup Adhikari and Leonard Lepcha for technical support.
okay, so yeah, if you like this video, go like, share, and also subscribe and help the channel of Nepal Cube Association grow. And comment down that who would you want to see in the next episode of NCA podcast.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
And you're left in the dust unless I struck by you. You're a sunflower. I think you love way too much. Or you'll be left in the dust unless I struck by you. You're the sunflower. You're the sunflower. Woo!